Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here. We broadcast 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains, right here from the farm. And if you'd like to call us, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. John is engineering the broadcast at GCN. Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Welcome, Rick.
Good morning. Thank you. Hi. I know.
You know,
we've already talked, so we've got that place covered.
You know, Rick, I'm thinking about Barry and the Bandits. You know, what are there any new tricks that Barry and the Bandits could pull? And this at the top of the hour news, we heard about Harriet Tubman. She was a slave. She escaped. She became part of the Underground Railroad, and she helped other slaves escape. And you know, slavery, enslaving another human, is absolutely unacceptable at any level. I mean, it makes no sense. And we're still doing that kind of stuff. We still have people in prison and jails, and we've made slaves out of them. And there are corporations who are using prison labor or slave labor in this country today, making products for the home. What a great racket! You get people to go to you put them in jail, and then you make them do work for corporate America at slave labor prices. That way we can compete with, we can actually do better than the Chinese, because we can get even lower labor rates than they have. But this new $20 bill, Harriet Tubman is going to be on the new 20. They're going to kick Andrew Jackson off the front of it, and the latest talk I've heard is he's going to be put on the back. So we have a slave moving to the front of the bus. We have President Andrew Jackson moving to the back of the bus, and that's what the new 20 is going to be like. And, you know, I object to this. I object to this because we have almost a tradition of presidents being on our currency. I mean, we really do. If you look at the U.S. Coins, we've got Abraham Lincoln on the penny. We have Thomas Jefferson on the nickel. We have Franklin Delano Roosevelt on the dime. We have George Washington on the quarter. John Kennedy on the half. And then we kind of switch to these new age tokens. We have Susan B. Anthony on the silver dollar, which is really not silver. It kind of looks like silvery, but it's not a silver dollar. And then we have Sacagawea on what they call a golden dollar. Okay, and then on the paper notes, the frauds, FRAUDS, that stands for Federal Reserve Accounting Unit dollars, frauds. We've got George Washington on the $1 on the 1 fraud. We have Thomas Jefferson on the 2 fraud. We have Abraham Lincoln on the 5, Alexander Hamilton on the 10, Andrew Jackson on the 20, Ulysses S. Grant on the 50, and then Benjamin Franklin on the 100.
How come Hamilton is also on the $2 bill?
The $2 bill is Jefferson.
Oh, that's Jefferson?
Yeah,
I've got
Thomas
a brand
Jefferson.
new one in front of me, and it's Hamilton. Grace Thorne gave me this for luck.
Really? I haven't seen that, but I know Bill Clinton's on the 3. Yeah, I've got a $3 bill with Bill Clinton.
How come they're switching him on the dollars and moving him around? How come a lot of things. You know, none of this is real.
Well, it's
I've
annoying.
Never heard of some of these people, and I am a pretty good memory and to study history. You know, required when I was a kid.
Okay, let me continue. There's only 5 more pieces of fraud. One is William McKinley. He's on the 500. He was the 25th U.S. president. Then Grover Cleveland was the 22nd and the 24th U.S. president. He's on the 1,000. Then the 5,000 is James Madison. Salmon P. Chase. He was the U.S. Secretary, Treasury Secretary, the 25th one. He's on the 10,000. And then Woodrow Wilson, who is the 28th president, is on the 100,000. But we don't use anymore denominations of frauds greater than 100. 100 is the highest denomination of fraud in circulation. So the 500, the 1,000, the 5,000, the 10,000, and the 100,000, those frauds are no longer used in circulation. So the most of the currency that we have, the tokens like the penny, the nickel, the dime, those in the quarter and the $50 had U.S. presidents on them, okay? But then we have the $1 token, the Susan B. Anthony, we have the Sacagawea, the golden dollar token. We don't like those. Who uses a Sacagawea dollar? Who uses a Susan B. Anthony dollar? Hardly anybody. And you hardly ever see Thomas Jefferson on the 2 because 2s really aren't used very much. Now, I like to use the 2s when I can get them, and sometimes I use them for tips. If I give someone a tip because they go, wow, I've never seen a $2 bill, and they like that. So I try to use 2s, and I suggest, class, if you're going to try to keep currency in vogue and privacy, then try to use these frauds, these the 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, 50, and 100 denomination frauds. But to change to this Harriet Tubman, when you see her picture, I'm trying to think what would be worse, Michelle on the note or Harriet Tubman. It's close. It's close. Both of them would be offensive on front of a piece of currency. Anyway, I think the reason they're doing this is my own opinion. I think the reason they put someone so ugly, and I don't mean to speak ill of the dead, but to put someone so ugly on currency, I think the reason is they don't want us to use it. And we would say, I'm embarrassed to hand this 20 to you, so I'm just not going to, I'll tell you what, I'll pay you with PayPal, I'll pay you with digital currency, I'll pay you online. I'm not going to use this cash because it's so ugly. I think that's part of the plan, because Barry and the bandits want to change all the U.S. frauds. The 1, the 5, 10, maybe even the 2. Yep. Just my thought. So what do you think, Rick? Is that possible?
I'm speechless. I don't get any of it. I don't get it.
Okay. Well,
I mean, if you understand what I'm trying to say, why is Hamilton on my $2 bill when Jefferson was all? I don't get it. I don't get any of it. It's like
I'm going to look that up. Well,
has too much time on their hands.
Sherry in Kansas, welcome. You're on with Dr. Richard Allen Miller.
Hi, guys. Hey, I saw a really cool deal for raising chickens and getting eggs out of them. Are you familiar with Jeff Lawton's website he's got a lot of permaculture videos?
Share with us what you're talking about.
Okay, Jeff is spelled Geoff, and it's just jefflawton.com. And I saw one up there on his site on chicken tractor on steroids. Mm-hmm. And what he's done is they got this from another guy, but they tweaked it a little. But he uses compost and lets the chickens have the access to them to get their nutrients, and he doesn't raise them on grain. He doesn't give them any grain. But what they do is, he's got like a, it's like you know how they make a trailer out of an old pickup bed?
Yeah, sure.
You've seen those? Okay. They used one that had really it had already been used for that a lot, and it was just too decrepit to use anymore. So they made a housing out of that, and they fill it with, and they have a deal set up there for them on their where they can roost, a roosting deal. But they fill it with a bedding medium and let it in there about a week, and then they clean that out and put new medium in, and they have it. So that's where the chickens are every night. And then they...
Well, I've seen something like that. I toured a farm in Indiana. And what these guys did was they took a tractor trailer, okay? Like maybe a 30-something foot, 40 foot, an old one. And they cut the floor out of it, and they put in wire mesh. And they put some ramps on it so that the chickens could walk up these ramps, and that was where they went to bed at night. And so they hooked this trailer up in a large field, and they would pull it with the tractor, and they would move it every day. So the chicken poop would go through the wire mesh floor where the chickens slept at night, and the poop would be on the grass, and it would fertilize the grass, and they would move this chicken tractor every day. And the chickens just ate the grass in this particular field. And it was a large chicken tractor. Now, a small chicken tractor might be something a little larger than a wheelbarrow, and with a couple wheels in the front or 4 wheels, and you just pull it from place to place to place along your yard. And that works great as well. In our case, we don't do that. In our case, we have a pen that we put the chickens in every night. Actually, they put themselves to bed, and we just close the gate. It's a dog kennel, if you will, 10 feet by 10 feet.
Well, I really encourage you to go to this.
Yeah, I will. I'll post it on. Yeah, I'll post it on the website. But that's a really good point if you want to raise chickens. Sherry in Kansas, thanks so much. Dr. Richard Allen Miller and I will be right back. We're going to talk about beef prices. I sold some cows. I'll tell you what happened. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Hi, my name is Nick Lupo. One World Whey has been by far the best protein that I've ever had. I take it 3 times a day. Once in the morning as soon as I wake, once for a pre-workout snack, and once for a post-workout recovery drink. It has helped me transform and sculpt my body into what I have now. I began taking the product about 2 years ago, and boy, let me tell you, I'm in the best shape of my life. I've seen major muscle mass gains and have 0% body fat. I have had people at my gym ask if I compete in bodybuilding because of how lean and muscular I am. I used to suffer from everyday aches and pains from hard manual labor my whole life, and arthritis that runs through my family. But One World Whey has helped me take that everyday pain from a 10 to a 3. Some days I feel no pain at all, just full of life and energy. It has also helped my skin look younger and healthier. Thank you, Synergistic Nutrition, for One World Whey.
Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworldwhey.com.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to gcnteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
You know, class, I've mentioned how much I dislike Best Buy, the electronics type store. I can't stand that place, and they're so abusive to their customers, at least in my opinion. And so, in 2005, there's a story on WND.com about this guy who goes in and he pays his bill. He tries to pay his bill using $2 bills. Legitimate U.S. currency, okay? He was arrested because the store employees called the cops, and then the Secret Service comes in, and the guy gets arrested for paying his bill with $2 bills, okay? They're absolutely legitimate. So he gets arrested, gets handcuffed to a pole, all because of the ignorance of the Best Buy employee who called the cops. And I've heard this story before. You know, people go to a fast food restaurant and they pay with a $2 bill, and the cops show up because of the ignorance of the employees. Well, I just called the bank during the commercial announcements. I just called our bank, and I said, I have a check in my hand, and I sold some cows, and I'd like to have some of this in cash, and I'd like some $2 bills. And they said, well, how many do you want? We have some here. And I asked them about how many they had. They have about 10. They have about 10 $2 bills in stock. And I said, well, can you order 100 of them? I'd like $200 worth of $2 bills. And so I'm going to start using them for more purposes than normally, just if I have to tip someone or want to tip someone, I'm going to use them and to let people know that they are legitimate currency right now, and they're kind of neat. So I sold some cows, Rick, and here's the story. Our family loaded them up on a trailer, and we took them to a cattle market where we've been before. And the lowest price that we got for a 485-pound steer, Black Angus. Now, some people think that Black Angus are, the best beef there is. It's a great marketing plan. I'm glad they did it. We raised Black Angus. That's pretty much all we've ever had is Black Angus cows. $1.30 per pound. And we sold some more at $1.90, $1.67, and $1.70. So we sold cows, Black Angus cows, that weigh between, the highest weight was 619 pounds, the lowest weight was 453 pounds, and the average weight was 551 pounds. And we sold them for $1.30, $1.67, $1.70, and $1.90. Those are very low prices. So I called the cattle auction, and I said, who I was, and we sold some cows there last week. Tell me about these prices. And they said, wow, those are really high. Your cows brought among the highest of any cow sold that day. Now, why did they bring among the highest? Well, because they're really nice cows. Grass-fed, very healthy, well taken care of, well behaved, weaned, and they're Black Angus, and the right weight to sell them for the highest price. And the highest price was between $1.30 and $1.90 a pound. That's before all the fees come out. So how much? Well, there's this thing called a beef checkoff. That means that $1 per head goes to the Cattlemen's Association. Required. There's no, I can't elect not to do that. Then they feed the cows, and they charge us to feed them. Then they have insurance on our cows being on their property, and they charge us for that. And then they have a commission. Then they have a veterinarian on site there during the cattle sale, not for us, just to be there. And then they have what they call yardage, and yardage is the pen they put them in. And so when I was talking to the front office, I said, are there any fees that you can think of that are not on here? I mean, you charge us to sell them, you charge us for the Cattlemen's Association, you charge us to feed them and water them, you charge us for the insurance on them that you pay, and then you charge us for a veterinarian who happens to be sitting around, I don't know for what, but not for our cows, and then you charge us for the pen you put them in. Is there anything else you could charge us for that you haven't charged us for? That's what I want to know. I said, it's kind of like a phone bill with all the taxes. Kind of like going to the dentist, and they say, well, yeah, it's one cavity, but it's on 3 sides. So we charge you for 3 faces of the same cavity. That's what's wrong with America. Any little incremental fee that they can tack onto your bill, that's what we do. It's an outrage. But I just want to tell you, Rick, $1.90 is the highest that we got, and we got among the highest that day at the sale. How much is your beef costing at the store? Certainly more than $1.90. This is Black Angus, the best of the best of the best.
Yeah, we pay $16.95 for at Safeway.
$16.95 for a steak.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
You know about RVs, you've heard about bunkers, but surviving is not recreation, and man wasn't made to live underground. Introducing Survivalist Camps, the ultimate fully functional off-the-grid survival bug-out house that's mobile, well-equipped, and custom-built to outlast any other RV or trailer. Go to survivalistcamps.com to learn more. That's survivalistcamps.com, providing your basic needs to survive. Survivalistcamps.com.
Imagine a pill that can improve your focus, your memory, your sleep, a catalyst to improve your brain chemistry. Dr. Bill's Cognition Plus is truly the smarter in an hour pill. A combination of amino acids, trace minerals, and B vitamins, Cognition Plus is made with specialized herbal extracts that will enhance and support brain function. Our customers say,
I feel more focused.
My memory's getting better.
I can work longer with more useful hours.
Power up your neurotransmitters that have been depleted, like dopamine and norepinephrine. Stimulate the release of others, like serotonin and oxytocin. Improve circulation and energy production. Protect your mind and your loved ones today. Order Dr. Bill Deagle's Cognition Plus at 888-212-8871 or go online to NutriMedical.com. That's 888-212-8871 or NutriMedical.com. And listen to the NutriMedical Report every weekday on the GCN Radio Network. NutriMedical.com, bringing nutrition and medicine together.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX or my website, danpilla.com.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Class, Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us, docram.com, DOCRAM.com. Rick, on your Facebook page, you can get to it by docram, DOCRAM.com, 330 million affected by the drought in India.
That's in India. Yeah, it's now actually happening. And 330 million people is about the same population as the entire United States. And that's how many people are being affected this very moment because of the drought. I'm just about to post something about Friday and major earthquakes that will be happening because of our moon.
That was something else that I wanted to mention, Rick. I have noticed I have been knocked off the air several times in the last couple of weeks. I was talking with John Statmiller last night, and USA Prepares instructor, and he was asking me about, are we experiencing internet problems? And the answer is yes, and other networks are experiencing internet-related problems. So yes, it's happening. And can you point to some of the causes?
Well, the sun is going through some major changes, and something is affecting the sun. What it is, I have no idea at this point. It is no longer in its 8 or 12-year cycle that it has been predictable for the last 40 years. Something is happening to our sun, and it is affecting the earth. Just the last couple of days, the amount of volcanoes and earthquakes that have been happening is a direct result of the sun affecting the earth, and something is affecting the sun. Kerry Cassidy is going to be interviewing Gerald Clark on the 7th planet, Mercury rising, that Nibiru. We already know that there is a binary system with our sun. That was Caltech and Stanford that came out several months ago saying that there was a second dead sun out past the Oort cloud with planets around it that swing through our solar system every so many thousands of years. It's cyclic. And Graham Hancock, others have predicted this. The Hopi sing about it as part of their medicine, the blue kachina. It is something that is probably known at the highest levels at JPL, and yet, because of plausible deniability, they are not giving disclosure to the American public to keep us from probably panicking. Now, I don't know. I do know that my internet isn't working right, and it is because of the anomalies of the sun. Suspicious Observer just came out with one that I just posted on Facebook and about the Carrington effect and how we are about to have another grid collapse, just like Matt Stein and I have predicted. It is going to happen. And with India at 330 million people without water and food, what do you think is going to happen next to the earth? War? And Hillary Clinton? This is craziness. And nobody is actually coming out and saying so. Even Bernie Sanders. I mean, the whole thing is nuts. It's a distraction. Bernie Sanders will probably be vice president. And there you have it, with Hillary Clinton, who is possibly the last woman that did even half of what she did in terms of disclosure of national security secrets on her open to the public email. They executed that woman. Where is Hillary Clinton in this whole thing right now? All you have to do is watch Saturday Night Live and the skit of the Democratic Convention debate, and you'll get it.
You know, when you talk about Hillary Clinton, I was thinking about Walmart. I was in Walmart within the last couple of weeks, and I've noticed, and the reason I mentioned Walmart is because Hillary was on the board of directors of Walmart. And if you go to the Walmarts that I've been to, I've noticed that the aisles are getting bigger, that there's more light in there because it seems like the shelves are stocked not quite so high anymore. You know, Walmart's used to put stuff above the shelving, the highest shelves, because they needed storage to store all this stuff. Well, that's not the case anymore. And if you look at the floor, you'll see where the shelving was, and now there's more aisle space. There's less inventory in the Walmarts.
That's exactly correct. The Baltic Dry Index. There it is. Read it and weep.
So we're looking at less inventory in the stores, and we have this allegedly wonderful just-in-time inventory system, which really doesn't mean just-in-time. It means it's too late, because when you want it, they have to order it because they don't have it. But if you look at the coffee selection, you look at the pasta selection, you look at the vegetables, you will not see the variety that you used to see. You'll see fewer choices. And not only fewer choices, each item that you might choose from, there's fewer of them in stock.
I think that August will be the telling month for bank failure. And I think it's happening right now. We talked last week about Bank of America and what they did in my local hometown of Grants Pass, Oregon, without even notifying any of the bankers, that people that would use that bank. And remember, when you put your money in a bank, the bank owns that money, and they give you an IOU.
And at the same time, if you want cash for a check that you've received, they can report you as if you are a criminal. So in my case, I might get a year's worth of income in one check. And if I go to cash that check and get frauds with it, instead of leaving it as digits in an account, they can report me.
That's
they can report me to the government.
Wants to get their pound of flesh.
Yeah. Yeah. And this check puts me below the poverty line. I'm like, I don't think there's anyone who makes less than I do. I mean, well, there might be a few.
I bet I do, Vincent. Well,
seriously.
I'm on fumes. It's crazy, and I work really, really hard. I really do work hard. I respond to every single email and every single phone call. I'm not flippant. I try to do the right job, and it's simply not working for me.
Well, I've come to realize that the companies who are making money today, who are doing well, are those who are in bed with the government, literally. If they're not in bed with the government and they're trying to sell products to a retail customer base, they're having a really, really tough time. So I'm thinking that we have to change our model here at the farm, and I'm thinking that we need to sell cows directly to people who want them. And the way I think we're going to have to do that, Rick, is we'll have to sell them live right here at the farm. So, for example, we'll say, okay, there's cow number 131. That cow, we believe, weighs 700 pounds or 500 pounds. We will sell half of that cow to one person and half of that cow to another person. And then they own it. It's their cow. Then we'll transport that cow to the slaughterhouse and it will be packaged. And then they can pick up that cow at the slaughterhouse.
I believe that's how it used to be.
I think that's what we're going to have to do. Because $1.30 a pound, now that's on the hoof, and you don't. So it might be you'd be able to get a steak for maybe $7 a pound. I'm talking the best of the best of the best, organic, grass-fed, top of the line, for less than you'd pay at the store. That's what we're talking about. Because someone's making a lot of money on this, and it certainly is not the farmer, and it's not the meat processor either. It's whoever else is in this chain, not us. So that's one of the models that we're thinking about, and that's why we're talking about this news alert. If you'd like to be part of it, class, just go to usaprepares.com, and pop-up will appear. Ed at user site put that up. Miles is involved in this. Joey's involved in this. Ed at user site's involved. I'm involved. And what we're trying to do is get you all the information and make sure you get the best prices on everything you can possibly think of. And then we'll do conferences, video conferences, where you can participate and learn in detail from experts like Dr. Richard Allen Miller. That's what we're talking about. So if you're interested, just go to usaprepares.com. Let us know your email address and your first name.
Oh, Rick at nwbotanicals.org.
Okay. So if you want to contact Rick, R-I-C-K, at nwbotanicals.org. That's his email address. Okay. Rick, one of the things that we were talking about was this drought. Now, without water, I mean, I don't know anybody who's saying, I'd love to go to the desert, and just move there and start farming. It doesn't happen. Without water, there's no life, right? No life without water. So 330 million impacted by this drought in India. Do you see this spreading? Is this going to get better? Do you have a thought on that?
It's already happening in Asia, all through Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan. They're all going through serious drought.
Okay, and now the Great Lakes.
Let's not forget California.
Oh, yeah. And the Great Lakes are being eyed as the largest freshwater source on the planet. Let's drain the Great Lakes and use that water for cities. Cities are now looking at the Great Lakes, but the same Great Lakes that we polluted, right? We polluted with the auto industry and other corporations. Now we're looking at that as the great source of fresh water to be tapped by cities. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now, with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
If you want to raise the next generation of Patriot leaders, take a look at Freedom Project Academy, a Judeo-Christian online school for kindergarten through high school. No Common Core teaching methods or high-stakes testing. Freedom Project Academy is government-free, doesn't accept any government funding, and is a fully accredited private school. All classes are taught live online with real teachers across the country. Open enrollment runs March through July, but classes fill up quickly. Check them out at fpeusa.org. That's fpeusa.org. So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
It's no secret that pathogens such as bacteria, viruses, molds, and fungus can inflict severe damage in the human body. Fortunately, a new and vastly improved silver solution has been developed. Supernatural Silver is a revolutionary broad-spectrum antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal solution that can be used inside the body as well as on the skin. Supernatural Silver is unique and superior to colloidal and ionic silvers, using a patented technology that is highly effective against colds, flus, infections, food poisoning, and yeast, in addition to many other pathogens. Supernatural Silver is scientifically supported, extremely safe, and is the #1 choice of thousands of people for immune system support. Find out how Supernatural Silver could change your life. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code HEALTHY for 20% off. That's supernaturalsilver.com. And like us on Facebook.
Hello, I'm Michael Regan. My father, President Ronald Reagan, believed so strongly in gold that in 1985, he changed gold ownership forever. Today, our national debt is spiraling out of control, but gold coins could be the answer. Call 1-866-525-GOLD or go online to usmoneyreserve.com to get new, never-before-released information about gold. From the U.S. Money Reserve, call 1-866-525-GOLD.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and negative articles can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? ReputationDefender.com can help protect your good name. Get a free consultation now. Call 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from ReputationDefender.com right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com today.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com. Or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Rick, Venezuela. it has 18 hydroelectric dams. And the water levels have dropped to levels that are dangerously low to run these hydroelectric power generation systems. And these hydroelectric systems provide about 70% of Venezuela's electricity. Okay, so as these levels of water keep dropping, they are having to ration the electricity in Venezuela. And that's causing all kinds of problems. Like, how do you operate a business? How do you operate production? How do you operate manufacturing with electricity that is not stable? We've become so dependent on stable electric power for society to operate. For example, those who are in this broadcast classroom today are expecting that it will continue because the grid is up and their power to power the devices that they're listening with and we're broadcasting with, all that's stable. But that may not be the case coming in the coming years. Is that correct or not?
Venezuela is a future America happening right now. What is happening in Venezuela today will be happening in the United States in exactly 2 years. Everything, including the taking over of farms to produce the food because the government has defaulted and can't.
Mm-hmm. And that's true of most governments. They can't. Whatever it is, governments can't. All they do is control people or try to control people. And going back to India, is India facing the worst water crisis ever? And the answer is India is having trouble getting enough water to run the steam-powered turbines to generate their electricity. So because they don't have enough water to generate steam, they are having problems generating electricity. So it's Venezuela, it's California, it's India, and it's spreading. Now, don't we have a finite supply of water on this planet? We have what we have, and that's it. We're not getting any more. Water's not coming from outside of our solar system. This is all we have, right?
I don't know. Mars has water, but how do you get it here? There it is.
Well, they're bringing trainloads of water across India. Trainloads of water. Can you imagine? We haven't even thought about that. We haven't thought about setting up a rail line to bring water from one location to another.
Well, FEMA is preparing concentration camps as we speak because of the problems that are going to happen when municipalities fail.
Well, and then also we're finding that there's a lot of skullduggery and lying and cheating going on in Flint, Michigan, too, about their lead in their water. It's been covered up. Arrests have been made.
It's not just Flint. It's across Central America. All of you, including Missouri, has lead in your pipes.
Yeah. Plumbers, PB. Plumbers. They used to use lead for making pipes. Plumbers used to make pipes out of lead. And didn't the Romans use lead for plumbing? I think they did. And lead causes you to go nuts. High levels of lead in the brain. Bad news. So, class, I suggest that you get some kind of a water filtration system going forward. I suggest you get one pretty soon while you still can get one. This is not selling fear. This is selling the concept that you need to take care of your family. And I don't care what kind of water filtration system you get, but get one that will remove lead, heavy metals, arsenic, fluoride. Get it pretty soon. Dr. Richard Allen Miller, I'll be right back. I'm going to read a letter when we come back. I think you might want to hear this, Rick. It's from the Netherlands. I read it once this week. I'd like to read it for you. We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Hello, I'm Michael Regan. My father, President Ronald Reagan, believed so strongly in gold that he changed gold ownership forever by bringing back physical gold to the American public, allowing gold coins to be minted and sold to U.S. citizens just like you, starting in 1985. Gold ownership can help protect your financial future, especially when our national debt is spiraling out of control. Many smart Americans have kept their retirements from being wiped out during America's financial crisis thanks to physical gold coins. I strongly urge you to call the U.S. Money Reserve at 1-866-944-GOLD or go online to usmoneyreserve.com. Ask for a special gold guide with new, never-before-released information about gold from the U.S. Money Reserve. Call 1-866-944-GOLD or go online to usmoneyreserve.com. I'm Michael Regan. Thank you.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Rick, we've got George in Mississippi. George, welcome.
Good morning, guys.
Morning. How can I help you?
I wanted to thank you and about talking about checking your equipment before you use it.
Yeah.
I was getting on my tractor today, and I started warming it up like you said, and I went to check my bush hog because I'm clearing the fence line.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily I checked my gearbox because there was no oil in it.
Yeah.
That's like a dirty trick. Did somebody dump your oil or did it run out? What happened?
I think it just ran out, and I just hadn't been checking it.
That's the way we always, never have the full picture on what's going on, whether it's from our memory or somebody's messing.
George, what you're talking about happens. And the class, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the terminology, a bush hog is a brand name. It's like Xerox. We're going to make a Xerox copy, whether you use a Samsung or whatever brand of copier. Bush hog is a term that we use for a cutter that will cut saplings. It will cut rough growth, thorns, and so forth. You can mow down roses with it, 2-inch saplings, and so forth. So it's a really heavy piece of equipment, and it's got these long, heavy blades that will slice through the rough areas you're going to cut. Well, it has a gearbox, and the gearbox is usually driven by a PTO shaft, and you can grease the PTO shaft because it has a couple of universal joints on it, and it just works year after year after year. But what you can't see is if the fluid that lubricates this gearbox drips out of the bottom seal. You can't see it usually because, a bush hog is 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet, 15 feet wide. And when you park it, you don't see the oil that would drip out from underneath it because the decking covers that. And what George is talking about is he happened to check his, and he saved the cost of, probably a $500 gearbox, right?
Yeah, trying to, and having to get in there and change it out and all the time that it's going to take.
Yeah.
It helps out.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you checked that. So you probably have a damaged rear or seal on the lower part of that gearbox. And have you heard of something called monkey grease? Have you heard of that?
It sounds familiar, but I don't recall it.
All right. Well, okay. The road departments, the guys who maintain the roads and mow the highways, have replaced some of the Gear Oil 90, the Gear Oil 85W140 that traditionally is used in those gearboxes, with monkey grease. And it's a thicker, gelatinous type of a grease, and it is less likely to run out. So what you may find out is that, if you were to put new Gear Oil 90, your seals may have dried out. They may have been damaged by whatever you cut using your mower the last time, this bush hog or brush hog. You may want to replace that with monkey grease, and it may stay in there.
Okay,
so
I'll check that out.
Yeah. We check our, and it takes time. We check our mowing equipment every time we use it because parts are so expensive. So expensive.
When I was at Pullman, I used to cut wheat as a boy. That's how you worked your way through college, and in the summers. And at 4 a.m, you were out zerking your machines, getting it ready for dawn. And you went through everything. It was like A, B, C. Because if any of it failed, you could be down for half a day and lose a crop.
Class, Zerk is the name of a fitting that is where you attach your grease gun to a Zerk fitting, and it has a check ball in it. It allows the grease to go in but not come out. So there's a check ball on it, and so if you have farm equipment, you need to grease the PTO shaft. You need to grease where the shaft slides in and out, the two halves of the shaft, the universal joints. You need to check all that and grease it, and it will last a long time. For example, I think our hay rake is from the 1980s. We bought it used. Still works great. Why? Because we grease it and check it every time we use it. Grease it at the end of the season.
1980s, after we zerked the machines and waited for dawn, then in the 80s, what we did is went to the Fort Vinoy store where they had a potbelly stove, and we sat around and talked politics until the sun came up and it started to work the dew so you could work the crop. And I'll tell you, there is a way about politics that's different now. And I remember the way it was when I was a farmer, and the way we would sit around an old, potbelly stove and heating it up in the morning and talk politics until the sun came up. I wonder what's happened to that part of America.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Vincent, I heard you saying that you were thinking about getting some goats.
Yeah.
I want to let you, I don't know if you know this or not, but if you have cherry trees growing on your property, that the cherry trees are poisonous to the goats.
Yeah. Well, we do. We just planted some cherry trees, and I appreciate you sharing that with our class. What I did was I bought some cattle panels, and cattle panels are 50 inches high, and they are heavy wire, 16 feet long, and we're going to fence an area for the goats. We're going to raise goats as well as cows and probably some pigs. So, and goats really need a really tough fence. And goats will eat the leaves, and they'll eat what the cows won't eat. So goats are, a great addition to the farm, and they're easier to handle. They don't weigh 800 pounds. They weigh a lot less. So we're thinking that's one of the directions that we're going to go this year.
Well, I'm constantly having to go through the property and find the cherry trees and pull them up or dig them up and get them out of the goat pens because I'm putting up a new fence in another section for them. So I'm having to go through all that and make sure there's no cherry trees so that we can keep them going.
George in Mississippi, please share with us what a goat costs. Like if you want to get a young goat and build from there, what does one cost?
If you just get a a mixed breed goat, they can go anywhere from $50 to $150.
Okay. And I know that for a show goat, one that really has great lines, $5,000 is possible. You can spend $5,000 on a goat.
Oh, you can pay some good money for them.
Mm-hmm.
So FAA and the 4-H club and some of the other things that are no longer in high school would have taught you how to do, animal husbandry and make your own breeds. It's a different America today.
My son, or our son, I should say, was a member of FFA, Future Farmers of America, in high school, and it was a big deal in this part of the country in Missouri, still, but not everywhere. And that's exactly what young farmers were taught how to raise animals, how to care for animals, how to respect
life. This year,
the
United States is going to need 30,000 new farmers.
Yes, that would happen.
Are they going to come from?
Well, the young people
have just completed a new book called The Small Family Farm for the 21st Century, which breaks it down in regions and how to grow crops for barter and your pharmacy. And I'll tell you, we have a problem in Guacamora.
George, may I ask how old you are?
I'm 56.
Okay, so I'm 63. Do you see a lot of young people in Mississippi who are interested in becoming farmers?
Oh, no. I had a discussion. I drive a bus for the school system, and I was talking to some of the kids today on the bus, and they're all into their music, and they want to get into that, and they want to go off into the cities and play sports. That's where they figure they're going to get all their money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, none of them want to. I don't really have a farm myself. I only have 10 acres, but it's all mostly wooded. So
that could be a small forest farm. There's all kinds of crops you can intercrop in your timber that are worth a lot of money, like Mexican yams for steroids. There's all kinds of things you could be doing down there in Tennessee, sir.
How about mushrooms, Rick?
Where in Tennessee are you located?
I'm in Mississippi, on the Gulf Coast.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Mississippi, Rick. What about mushrooms?
Not Tennessee. Yeah.
Yeah. What about mushrooms?
Mississippi does Mexican yams. Mississippi does some excellent ginseng and golden seal. And what is it? There's thorn apple. There's a couple of things that you could be growing that are chemistry oriented. That when the pharmaceutical houses are no longer able to deliver at Walgreens, that you have something for heart medicine and other things like that. You know, the black cohosh for women and estrogen all grow well in Mississippi. In fact, I remember Geneva used to be one of the biggest hide companies out of Mississippi. You could get Geneva hide and fur, bought a lot of botanicals back in the 80s, 70s.
Okay, well, guys, I hear the music, and I'm going to crank the tractor back up and get going.
George, thanks so much for sharing that thought about the gearbox and the goats with us. I appreciate
it. All right.
When we come back, I'm going to read a letter that I received from the Netherlands, and it's about, Rick's mentioned in it. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now, with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
For the most amazing, calming, brain-stabilizing, blood sugar, and natural addiction-breaking formula, try CalMind. Anxiety melts, panic is gone, sleep is restful, and you'll stay calm during stress. Better than booze, mind-altering drugs, or anti-anxiety, antidepressant, toxic medications, CalMind lubricates your mind so you'll sail through the day effortlessly. Order Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutridyne at 888-212-8871 or NutriMedical.com and listen to the NutriMedical Report every weekday on the GCN Radio Network. NutriMedical, bringing nutrition and medicine together.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Doc Ram's with us, Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Rick, I'd like to read a letter that I've read it once, but I'd like to read it so that you can hear it. This came as an email, and it's a page long, so it'll take me a couple minutes to read it. Dear Vincent, we love to listen to the show. We use the Ron Gibson YouTube channel, and we've been listening since a few months prior to the last expo. Please excuse me for my use of language. I am Dutch, so English is not my native language. And just a little sidebar here. We have a number of people who listen to this broadcast, and English is not their native language, and they communicate so much better than many people, young people that I've heard, who where English is their native language. Back to the letter. We wanted to send an envelope for the seeds, but we already have about 14 species of tomatoes, so thanks for the offer. Saying no in a polite way is maybe the best thing I took from you. Logical thinking is the thing you do very well. The toilet backing up when things go wrong, and stashing salt are things that I didn't think up till then. We love the other instructors as well. The doctors are the best. They are like a walking encyclopedia and funny as well. Here in the Netherlands, almost everything is regulated. Every price is fixed. So when you think you've got it bad, think again. What we're having, you are getting in a social experiment kind of way. Our guns have been taken away from us before I was born. So the thought of you on a tractor with an AK-47 strapped to your back puts an instant smile on my face. In Germany, elderly people above 70 still need a part-time job to make ends meet. We're a couple aged 34 and 36. She's older, but I'm wiser. I attended marketing school and went the biological farming way. I worked at the Postal Service as a team leader, but got too expensive, so they had to get rid of me. She worked as a nurse. 5 years ago, we started our own business in healthcare. She takes care of people in the last stage of their life, and I do my part in administration and taxes. Maybe Captain John Regan can start a business for and with his wife in the cleaning up service. There will be definitely a lot of work in that sector in the coming years with the natural disasters and all of that. It seems like Captain John is already living the survival way, literally. We love to learn from the internet. We love Jeff Lawton's permaculture and started our own community garden in that way. Will Allen's growing power is a good way to set up a greenhouse. We love to get your take on that as a professional farmer. We're also observers, the kind Doc Ram likes to talk about from time to time. I love how you are troubled guiding the doctor's mind on the show. Interesting thought, isn't it, Rick? We took Miles' advice and try to make ourselves unmissable in the community garden. Start somewhere and work from that. Are there other words for to love and like things, such as prefer, because it looks like we love a lot? Always thank you, Vincent, and the instructors for everything that you do. The show is heard in the Netherlands, and you've planted some seeds in our mind. Lots of love from the Netherlands, Roy and Kim. And so, Rick, I wanted to share that with you. People love what you have to say. They love your inspiration, your guidance, your education, and counsel. So I wanted to personally thank you, and I wanted to read that letter from Roy and Kim in the Netherlands. And that's the kind of, I believe our class is the brightest in radio. I really believe that. And I think if we went head-to-head with, Rush or Sean or any of those broadcasters, if we took 100 of us versus 100 of them, and we talked about general knowledge and we were put on an island to survive, I think we would fare so much better than they. That's just my opinion. Do you have any thoughts on that, Rick?
Well, yeah, I do, actually. I would say that the single most important part of survival is attitude and your relationship to yourself.
Rick, when we come back, may we talk about Area 51, your experience? Your experience with have you been there? That's the question.
Yes.
Grays? All right. Let's talk about Area 51. Have you had any experience with any grays and missing time?
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com or 800-544-3533.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. you can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2. Call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-941-5257. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-941-5257. Step 3. Congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-941-5257. That's 1-800-941-5257. By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Hello, I'm Michael Regan. My father, President Ronald Reagan, believed so strongly in gold that in 1985, he changed gold ownership forever. Today, our national debt is spiraling out of control, but gold coins could be the answer. Call 1-866-525-GOLD or go online to usmoneyreserve.com to get new, never-before-released information about gold. From the U.S. Money Reserve, call 1-866-525-GOLD.
You haven't experienced yogurt until you've tried a Mossy, embodying health and flavor in a true whole milk, green-fed dairy beverage. Every sip pays homage to our old world cows and the ancient culturing methods their milk benefits from. With over 30 probiotics, a Mossy's undeniably nutritious, refined, cultured sensation bolsters your health and awakens your passion for dairy. A Mossy's so good, and you need to try it. Contact your Longevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Dr. Joel Wallach here. If you're a baby boomer and you're worried about the big epidemics coming, and I'm not talking about the bird flu or the swine flu, I'm talking about epidemics of Alzheimer's disease, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, arthritis, cancer. That's because the 80 million baby boomers followed all the advice of doctors, and Houston, we have a problem.
See Dr. Wallach live in Little Rock, Arkansas, Saturday, May 14th, 1 p.m. Go to www.cdocinarkansas.com. That's cdocinarkansas.com.
Class, if you'd like to buy some of Doc Ram's books, you can go to docram.com, docram.com. If you'd like to talk to Doc Ram, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. Rick, I just wanted to share a thought with you. I was on the tractor, and I was thinking, what would happen if one of us said to a young person today, let's say a 17, 18, 19-year-old person, maybe somebody in high school, and the discussion was something like this. I think I heard this ticking sound coming from the car. Would you mind checking to see, maybe it's a spark plug wire arcing. Would you check that and let me know if that's what it is? Or, I saw a small drip under the car. Would you please check to see if it's a power steering leak or a crankcase leak? Either one of those situations, I'll bet you most young people today wouldn't know where to find the spark plug wire under the hood of an engine. Under the hood of a car, or wouldn't be able to tell by the look of the oil whether it were a power steering leak or a engine oil leak or maybe even an antifreeze leak. What do you think, Rick? I think that we've lost our way, and young people, if they don't have a phone and it's not communications or electronics related, they're not interested. What do you think?
I don't know what to think about any of it anymore. The idea of what that one man from Mississippi said was staggering, that the kids on his school bus were more interested in going to the city to be a musician, or an athlete, because that's where the money was. It's interesting.
Yeah, how many of those athletes make it?
Oh, no.
How many of those athletes actually...
Like that. And then there's the trauma of being an athlete. I was an athlete, and I've got titanium in every single limb. And it may well be that this this sleep problem that I'm having is that I have arthritis in the jaw. Who knows yet? I just went in for heart tests because, it's crazy. The whole thing is crazy. And the medical profession, I have a Seventh-day Adventist doctor. I'm lucky. I purposefully chose a Seventh-day Adventist in the early years, almost 30 years ago when he first came out of school, because I wanted somebody slow on the draw.
You're fortunate you have a doctor, Rick. We just got a notification from Blue Shaft yesterday that our health insurance is terminated in 2 weeks. And it's unbelievable. We spent a couple of weeks trying to figure out how to get health insurance. We finally got it, and now it's being canceled. And let me tell you why. Because we applied for Social Security. We applied for Social Security to keep the farm going.
That's a different kind of health insurance. Once you have Medicare, now what I did is I went with HealthNet. There's all different ones you can do. Blue Shield, whatever, like you call it. What they'll do, and then you have B plans where you can get pharmaceuticals or not. Yesterday, when I went in for a cardiogram, I paid $12.
Yeah, well, it costs a lot more than that.
For mine. That was my Seventh-day Adventist. That's them, running. They're going to try to see if I can get on a treadmill, that if my insurance will cover that one or not. I would rather do that than check into the hospital. I already had blood drawn to see if I'd had a heart attack. I didn't. That's the good news. So I'm slowly identifying what my problems are not. It isn't like identifying what the problem is anymore. In fact, we have gotten so complicated in our concepts of medicine that we now have created illnesses that have no cures. I remember when the Native Americans had a cure for everything. It's a different way of being. It is a mindset and has to do with attitude. And that's the thing I'm going to try to push on everybody now, is that we have to become responsible for the thoughts we choose to entertain. And I am not going to participate with Hillary Clinton. I'm going to watch her go to prison. I'm going to watch Donald Trump get laughed off stage. And maybe we can find somebody to represent our best and moral codes of ethics, rules of conduct, and scholarship. That's what a president's supposed to be about.
Yeah, and when we look at our currency, we should feel good about our country. Why are we bringing up all of these problems in our past? Why not talk about let's put the Tesla coil on the new currency, or the Edison light bulb, or the electric motor, or the telegraph. Things that actually helped us.
I think that pot-belly stove and sitting around in the early morning talking politics while you're having your coffee, waiting for the sun to come up, heat the ground, was a type of little Americana that I miss as a metaphor.
I participated in that over the weekend. I walked into a farm store, and there were a whole bunch of guys sitting around, and they asked me my take on certain things, and including gas prices. And I gave them my take, and everybody was fixated on what I was saying, except one guy who was looking out the window, couldn't be interested at all about, as a farmer, I couldn't believe it. Couldn't be interested in our take on what fuel prices are going to be. Rick, we've got Kyle in Montana. Kyle, welcome.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. I just had a couple of thoughts on goats if people are thinking about doing that. Just to maybe throw a little bit more information in there. You can buy sometimes, like the gentleman from down south was mentioning, you can buy mixed breed goats, females. You know, the cross between like a La Manche and a Nubian or a Saanen or all of those. We raised goats for like 20 years, so and you can pick them up sometimes even free. People have so many of them, and there's not a demand. And it depends on your area, of course. But you're definitely going to want to put up some kind of, I like that welded wire, 2-inch by 4-inch, 6-foot high. And you want to go with the 12 gauge, not the 14, and posts about every 6 feet. Because like you said, they are escape artists, and they like to butt things, and highly suggest. We learned a little trick about the milk, because a lot of people don't like the taste of goat milk. And this trick has just been amazing for us. We would take the milk, and of course you're going to strain it. Then you put it in quart jars, and put the quart jars in the freezer for about 2 hours, an hour minimum, to chill it down, and then put it in the refrigerator. And then when you get ready to drink it, you pour it, and then you're going to start drinking it right with your meal. Don't pour the milk and let it sit out on the table, because the more it sits out there, the goatier it will taste. But if you take it right out of the fridge, it will, it'll taste, I mean, you can taste a little bit of difference, but my kids were practically raised on it. So, that kind of stuff works really well. And then if you can get 2 or 3 people and one person has a billy, you want to be able to share that billy around a good one rather than having one yourself. And if you happen to be the unlucky one with a billy goat, you put him a long ways away from the house, in a pen that where the smell is not going to drive you crazy, because because they stink, especially when the females start coming into heat. The billy will spray himself constantly, and the smell will. It's really not one of the musk scents you want on you.
Hey, Kyle, would you consider doing a broadcast about raising goats in the future?
Oh, sure, Vince.
Okay.
Anytime you need me, just let me know.
Okay. Well, we sent an envelope with Dr. Shealy's optimal suggestions a couple days ago. You should have that, and also think about what we should talk about during that broadcast, and I'd love to do that about goats, because and the fence really is important, and goats like things they like to be up in the air in a high point. And so if you've got some cows mixed with your goats, the goats will climb on top of the cows and get a better view, from standing on top of a cow lying down. And if you've got a car, and a goat will climb on your car and use your windshield as a ski ramp. And I'm not kidding. They will use your windshield as a ski ramp and slide down, and then scratch all the way down from where the windshield wipers are to the front of the hood. And so you will have scratch marks all over your vehicle if you happen to leave them where a goat can access your vehicle, because they like to get on top of whatever the highest thing is that they can climb, whether it be a dirt pile, a rock pile of wood, pile of lumber, cow, whatever it is. They want to be up in the air. As high as they can
Yep. And one of the best things we ever done is in our goat pen, we went and we live in the quote unquote Rocky Mountains. And so we took some big rocks. They were, 3 or 4 feet high. And we took a little tractor and rolled them into the middle of the goat pen where they could not use that as a launch pad to try to get over the fence.
Right.
But anyway, that was, and watch them climb and butt and play around up there was great. The other thing, well, I'll cover that in the next. I'd really like to hear Rick's deal on Area 51. So I'll hang up and I'll catch you later.
Thanks, Kyle.
You bet.
Rick, Area 51. So were you there?
Yeah. Yes, I was once.
Okay.
I went to.
When we come back, can you tell us what you learned at Area 51, and did you see a gray? And if so, what was that like? You've got all the time in the following segment. Area 51 and the Grays. DocRam.com. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now, with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
You're right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com. Or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Hello, I'm Michael Regan. My father, President Ronald Reagan, believed so strongly in gold that he changed gold ownership forever by bringing back physical gold to the American public, allowing gold coins to be minted and sold to U.S. citizens just like you, starting in 1985. Gold ownership can help protect your financial future, especially when our national debt is spiraling out of control. Many smart Americans have kept their retirements from being wiped out during America's financial crisis thanks to physical gold coins. I strongly urge you to call the U.S. Money Reserve at 1-866-944-GOLD or go online to usmoneyreserve.com. Ask for a special gold guide with new, never-before-released information about gold from the U.S. Money Reserve. Call 1-866-944-GOLD or go online to usmoneyreserve.com. I'm Michael Regan. Thank you.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
Class, for those of you who are waiting on hold to be on with Doc Ram, I don't know if we're going to have a chance to get you on. Doc Ram, Area 51, you were there?
Well, I think so. Let me tell you what I do know and what I don't know. I worked on the West Coast doing paranormal. That's what I did. We knew about aliens. The work I was doing, we were more concerned with what the Russians were doing back then. That's the way it was, truly. And we knew about aliens, Area 51, Broom Lake, all of that. So I didn't know Lazar. I didn't know any of those kinds of people at all. I was doing what I did. And I get this order to go to Broom Lake for a special briefing. And so off I go, not knowing pretty much of anything. When I arrived, we went down level 8, and I remember that. I remember this big table full of documents. There was a whole bunch of documents, and I had 1 hour to brief myself. And I just started reading documents when the door opened. What happened next is a phasey memory. It's like missing time. What I think, as I've been told and remember, I was in one end of the room, and there was this, it felt like a feminine 7.5 foot entity that I'd never seen anything like it before. Kind of like an entity in Star Wars that makes the clones at the edge of the galaxy or something. They were kind of like that. They were 7.5 feet tall. And that's what actually led me to eventually write my paper on synthetic telepathy. I couldn't understand how I could hear these voices in my head. I was amazed. And then what happened next was I have it's like I hit a brick wall. I can't get through that brick wall. I've only had incidences like this maybe 2 other times in my life. I can remember them clearly because I have better access to my mind than most. There's a drug called Vernol or something that will clip. They has to do with memory and trauma, like post-traumatic stress, where they can take certain stressful things and they kind of snip it, or I can't get to how that works, but it's like there's a snipping, and the memory's there. I think so, but I can't get at it or something. It's like they've done something to sheath or CNV, the contingent negative variation, where you can't actually get access to a part of the brain. And I don't know how that works, but maybe archetypal. That means, are alien abductions real? Now, there's been, when Mac was studying alien abductions, his conclusions were that he was not ever going to prove the existence of God, that basically what he could do was treat the trauma that was like a group trauma, a group of different things. Now we have similar things called targeted individuals. Did this event occur? I don't know. It's like a dream. It's got elements where I can actually remember something, and then I can't. And it's interesting. I don't know what it means. It has something to do with time. And I don't understand how that works either, other than I am now discovering that specific timelines are talking to me in my present, in that it is the way they get my attention to notice one thing over 5 others. And the one that I'm left with, I remember the debriefing. They were trying to find out what, because see, we just stood there for 45 minutes or something. Something happened. I don't know if they were prepping me for what I am now. I don't know how any of this works. I'm only in discovery as a physicist, trying to understand.
Pick up bugs, worms, raise crickets for food. Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit guns80.com, guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey Water Filtration Systems. The Berkey Light Systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light System today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.